Hi, I'm Abby. Welcome to my New York City kitchen, where today we're making beer braised short ribs. Amazing. So we'll talk about each ingredient as we use it. So first I have boneless short ribs, and we've cut them into bite-sized pieces. So they're about 1 inch. You can also use bone-in short ribs if you want. Just make sure at the end of all the cooking process, you take out those bones and tendons, because the meat's gonna fall right off the bone. But when we're serving it to people, we wanna make sure that we've taken the bones and the tendons out. So to kind of skip that step entirely, you can just get a boneless version like me. So I'm going to put some salt, pepper on here. I'm gonna mix it around in a second. But first, I have my Dutch oven on. It's been heating up for a while. I want to put my oil in first. And while that's heating up, I'm going to make sure that my meat is seasoned and get that salt and pepper all through carefully. And then I'm going to put the meat into our Dutch oven, and we're going to sear it so that it gets brown on most sides. And then we're gonna take it out and put it on a plate and continue on. So, here we go. Okay, so while that's searing, I have the oven set to 275 degrees, preheating now. And then here I have in our bowl some celery. It's about 1 to 2 inches thick. Carrot, same. And then some roughly chopped onion as well. So this is our mirepoix, is what it's called. And eventually we're gonna take our meat out, put it on the side, and then this is gonna go in. These are our vegetable mirepoix components. All right, so I just removed my meat from searing it, and in next are our carrot, celery, onion. So I am going to add a little bit more salt and pepper. It smells so good. So while that's sauteing a little bit, let's talk about what's left. So I do have some garlic, so I'm gonna add that in a little bit. And then I have some flour and some tomato paste. So with the tomato paste, I'm gonna add it on its own and it will caramelize a bit. I can add the flour at the same time or right after. Essentially what we want to happen is we want these two to cook a little bit. So the tomato paste will caramelize and add that rich tomato flavor. And the flour will cook a little bit, and this is going to help as a thickener in our short rib stew. And then we have a bay leaf, which will go in later for flavor. And we have maple syrup, which actually is a little bit of sweetness just to kind of level out the flavor of everything. And then, of course, we're gonna add in some beer and some beef stock. Okay. Great, so let's add in our garlic. And then comes our tomato paste. and our flour. Okay, and then we want to deglaze the pan. So deglazing the pan means you add a little bit of liquid. We're using beer, it could be wine, it could be stock, it could be water. And we're gonna add a little bit. It's going to immediately start to boil or at least simmer, and it's going to help scrape up any of these delicious brown bits and things that are getting stuck to the bottom of the pan. So let's do that. Yeah, that's beautiful. And then we'll put the rest of that in. And we'll add in our beef stock. And our maple syrup. And our bay leaf. And then, of course, we have to put our meat back in too, right? So we'll boil this, turn it off the heat, put the top on, put it into the oven for 2 to 3 hours. I have a preference towards the 3 hours because you really want that meat to be nice and tender and falling apart at 275. So let's do it. Okay, so our beer braised short ribs came out of the oven. They've been cooling off, and I am going to scoop some into our bowl here. Smells so good. So it is a little bit brothy. So if you want less broth, there's a couple options. One is to put it on the stove and take out the meat and the vegetables and then just, leaving the liquid there, and you can actually boil it and reduce it to whatever level you want. Or you can serve it, which is usually my method. I like to serve it over mashed potatoes or polenta or some sort of whole grain like brown rice that will soak up all that delicious sauce. Or you can even serve it just with some crusty bread. So 3 all equally amazing and delicious opportunities for you to choose what you do with your liquid at the end. But definitely keep it in there because there's so much flavor in there. So here you go. Once again, I'm Abby. This is my beer braised short ribs. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.